Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kuro Isagami, your resident tinkerer and Medarotter, and belated birthday boy, as my birthday was indeed yesterday on Pi Day, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet fighting robot series. Now this week, even though we may not have a lot of new content per se, in relative to the Kuro-Chan collab that will still be ongoing, or at least the gacha banners will be anyway until the end of the month, this week on the other hand will be just a little bit Frosty, since we have a lot of gacha banners incoming that are going to be sporting a lot of paralyze or freeze type attacks between freeze and freeze shot among a plethora of other skills. And for this reason, and for the relatively slower week, I suppose I could call it, I have decided to name this week's episode Frosty BluesDay. So let's go ahead and jump right into what they did announce for this week, following up with the White Day chat that we had with the VTuber girls back on yesterday rather. First of which on the docket, as I said, are the gacha banners. First of which is a brand new model finally making his return and debut into Medarot S. It is BBB0 Barbe Blue with a kit of Gatling, Freeze, Shoot Guard, Multi-Legs, and the Bloodstain leg ability. And then following behind him, we also have IDL01 Deer Stage with a kit of Full Charge, Bug, Freeze, Biped Legs, and the Rush leg ability. And then we also have QUN0 Aurora Queen with triple freeze shot, biped legs, and the snow type leg ability. So pretty much right from start, like I said, this week is going to be rather chilly and rather frosty. Just with these three bots alone sporting both variants of freeze between standard freeze and freeze shot, but that's honestly not enough, as we have another 3 banners being rerun in addition to these two, and of course Barbe Blue being the brand new model. Those other 3 are KWG0A Cameo Stag with a kit of Fight Boost, Freeze, Shock, Biped Legs, and the Brilliance leg ability. Our residence Learjet VTuber FJK0 Leah Lila with Commander, Freeze Shot, Thunder Shot, Float Legs, and the Continuous P leg ability. And then last but not least, we have a spotlight for a bot that's pretty much been in the game since the beginning, and that is WLF01 Snow Fenrir with a kit of Cooler, Double Freeze, Biped Legs, and the Snow type leg ability. So right from start, we have 2 bots with the snow type like ability, which means they're already pretty well worth going after if you do find yourself on the with extra resources on your hands. But given that Snow Fenrir is a spotlight this week, and he's already in the permanent banner, I would not actively encourage going after him, since pretty much pulling after any other kind of banner, collaboration or limited, will still give you a chance to net something of him, if not his full set. Out of the 6 bots we have this week, I'd say this is honestly kind of a skippable week in terms of the gacha banners that we have and what they have already available, since we can pretty easily find these skills elsewhere with other models that we've had in the past, or relatively easily with Fierce Battles or previous gacha banners. Now, the Kuro-Chan collaboration bots, Black Kit and Me Army, will still continue to stay up and live until the end of the month, so roughly about 3/31 or so. So if you have not snagged those 2 collaboration models yet, I would encourage going after them first before considering any of the 6 bots mentioned that are coming this week, as these bots all have a chance of being rerun, while collaborations do not. But if you have already found yourself in possession of both of the collaboration models, I'd say, like I said, this could be either a skip week or a big investment week, depending on either how new you are to the game or how badly you are in need of freeze parts. Now, with the Fierce Battles that we have this week, again, kind of a lower key situation. We have GTD01 Daichenko with a kit of Melee Guard, Missile, Gatling, Tank Legs, and the Heavy Arms leg ability. OWL03 Minerova with a kit of Laser, Free Shot, Press, Float Legs, and the Torturer leg ability. And then last but not least, we also have HMS0 Jungarian with Radar Sight, Double Gatling, Float Legs, and the Mascot leg ability. Now, pretty much still kind of pushing on the Frosty week theme that we have going on this week. Minerova definitely will be the MVP of the week just for free shot alone, as if you probably don't have the greatest luck with the gacha banners and don't pull anything, this will still basically be your shot at a free freeze shot that you can make use of and capitalize on very easily on any team that needs a stun ailment, even if stun locking is made 2-turn between shock and freeze, and then maybe virus or bug following behind. But yeah, lots of mixed parts this week of varying usefulness. It was honestly kind of hard to make or decide on an MVP of the week singularly, as all 3 kind of offer something to the table. that can be very handy in one situation or another. But at the end of the day, Minerova absolutely is the one to go after. Now, in addition to BluesDay that we have this week, we also have a new skin going live in the convenience store for Snow Fenrir, and that is Forest Camo Fenrir. Now, I have a couple mixed opinions on this skin, and it looks like the general opinion that I've seen just from initial release and announcement has been kind of mixed as well. Some people say they aren't too keen on it. Some people say they really do enjoy it. I myself am of the opinion that I do like the dark and earthy tones, so I'm a little mixed on this one myself. It does look really nice, not gonna lie. Not sure if it's something I'm gonna pick up though, since I am not necessarily a Snow Fenrir main enough to really warrant putting the resources down to buy it. But if you are indeed someone who does make use of his parts very often, if not constantly, this might definitely be something worth going after for you. And just to touch on it briefly as well, if the green color does kind of set you off, reminder, models that have skins also can have paint chips applied. So this forest green, if you decide that the green isn't your color, change it to an orange or a blue or a red, whatever you're looking for, because paint chips stack on top of skins. Now, we also have, in light of White Day and the Frosty Week, we have a new Marathon Survival making a return and a rerun. This week, it very likely will be capitalizing and focusing on bots that are capable of freezing you, be it ranging between freeze and freeze shot or any other variant of the sort. So I would honestly and very actively encourage on being very sparing with your stat cleanse parts across the board. Don't use them all right from start. Be very careful how you choose to go about them, and get crafty in trying to keep that freeze off your tail between stat cleanse or melee guard or shoot guard or perfect guard, even just to buy yourself those extra couple turns to keep it off your tail and keep the main and most dangerous enemy on the field from freezing you solid and forcing you into submission with stun lock. Now, just to go over the rules of Marathon Survival briefly, as we have gotten a fair amount of new players in fairly recent, but for those that may not have seen this event before, Marathon Survival is a variant of standard events, where in this case, when you go into a battle and you walk out upon victory, the 12 parts you used, 4 each per your 3 bots, that you use in that match are now added to a banned list, meaning you are not allowed to use those parts at all in any other following match until you reach a checkpoint, of which the banned list refreshes, and you are free to use those parts once again until they are added to the list. This is basically just a test to see how far you can go and how flexible you can be with your team builds, as well as to check to see how well you've been keeping up to date with staying up to date with raising parts that you perhaps don't use often. So make sure you have a lot of parts raised for this one, or if not, get crafty with the parts that you do have raised well, so that you can kind of balance it out and make use of this event to capitalize on the extra awards that they are going to hand out with it. Now, in the community front, we are still always looking for translators for the Medarot 3 and the Medarot Reloaded translation projects, so if you have any knowledge of coding, cleaning, or Japanese with some time on your hands, we are more than appreciative of any of the efforts that you're willing to provide and help out with, so we can get these translations done and work on more, because we have lots of chapters of Medarot Reloaded to translate that we have collected already, so the hard work has mostly been done. Likewise can be said for Medarot 3. We have the code already decompiled according to my buddy Variant. Translation work is mostly the brunt of the legwork that needs to be done in order to really see that translation to completion, so we can work on other projects like Medarot 4, Medarot 5, and Medarot Navi, which there has been very active interest in wanting to pick up a translation project for, but we just lack the manpower to do so. So once again, if you do have any knowledge in coding or cleaning, or have some knowledge in Japanese and translating with some time on your hands, definitely do give us a shout, and we are more than appreciative to keep you up to date on any help or assistance that we are in need of, or get you in touch with the right people to give you all the information needed on what to do and where to start. Now, for this week's community art highlight, I did decide to dig around just a little bit more for some more lesser known models, I guess I can say in this case, for one of them. In this case, by this user here on the far left, I will not attempt to pronounce that string of letters, sadly. We do have a highlight and a very nice fan art of a lesser known nurse type, Picare Nurse, who takes more the likeness of our more iconic character Karen from the anime that everyone does know and love. And then we also have this piece of art from Aman, at Aman de Toro on Twitter, who did this piece of Metabeat, both of which are very solid artists. Aman is definitely a good friend of mine. I have seen a lot of art from him in recent. Definitely worth a follow as well if you want to add more Medarot to your feed. Now, before I wrap up this week's episode, I do have a little bit of a question for you guys, and I am going to open a little bit of a community poll, just to kind of get a feel for how many people actually watch my episodes weekly, just to kind of see how well it matches up with the YouTube analytics and whatnot, but also something that may add more content to the Medarot News Network and what I do release in coming weeks or even in the future, depending on how the cards are played. And some of you who have followed me on Twitter or have seen me post these updates in the community Discord of Project Rising Beal have seen these cute little chibis / stickers I've been working on the last several weeks. I've honestly been having a blast making them, don't get me wrong, but it has actually given me a little bit of a question and an idea, so I wanted to ask the community and see what you all thought. But the ultimate question at the end of the day is, should I stream these Medarot doodles? It's honestly not super hard. I can get the setup done relatively easily, mostly just finding a date and a time that I can do it, really. But I just want to make sure that the interest in such is there, where I could possibly even take requests for bots that you want to see added to the canvas as I continually expand it, no less, because I've actually had a pretty solid chunk off to start, and I'm continually still working on it even today. But if you would like to see more of that, please do let me know in the comments below. If you do have any suggestions on where I should stream or how I should stream, or any ideas on what else I could consider with it, definitely by all means reach out to me, because I am more than open to any feedback or suggestions you might have in terms of what I could probably release as extra content aside from my weekly news reports and my weekly breakdowns, or even my Row Battle 101s where I kind of break down game mechanics. But aside from, one other thing before I do finish, and in regards to streaming, should I also release these doodles? And if so, where should I put them? I've had considerations such as, say, DeviantArt or Twitter, or putting them elsewhere, someplace where someone can see them all immediately, and I definitely have a lot of options to consider. I definitely do want to release these as something that people can collect, because I honestly have fun making them, and I think it's something that community should enjoy as well. So definitely do reach out to me for comments or feedbacks on that too, and I'm more than appreciative of anything that you can provide. But aside from all this, I believe that covers just about everything for this week. Since like I said, it is a little bit of a lighter week, rather frosty week, with it being White Day and a lot of gacha banners and even a fierce battle or two that have stun type parts, or freeze type parts. So definitely a good way to capitalize on those. But with all this being said, I do believe that covers everything for this week's episode. So thanks again for stopping by, folks. If you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on the Medarot News Network page or the Metabots Forever communities on Facebook. You can also reach out to us on Twitter at the link provided and in the comments below. If you'd like to keep a closer ear to the ground on anything related to Medarot, be that the Medarot S game or any merch or any art, this is definitely where you'll hear it first before it goes anywhere else. And we are always open to any more friends that are free to join the community, and kind of help bring more awareness of Medarot to the West, in hopes that Imagineer will soon one day reach that dream of localizing the series once again. You can also reach out to me personally on Twitter at IsaGamiKura, so if you have any questions, feedback, suggestions, or comments, definitely do give me a shout. My DMs are always open, and I'm definitely more than open to hear anything that you might have or offer that I could do for future episodes or even future content. For instance, like I said, with the streaming, with my Medarot doodles, if that's something that you'd like to see. Kind of deviating from the norm here ever so slightly, with folks to give a follow. These are IMA here, or IMA VTuber, is a new friend of mine I've made fairly recent, who just recently also made her debut in streaming on YouTube and Twitter as well. So definitely give her a follow. She said she definitely does plan to do some VODs or music videos possibly, or a mostly chill stream such as like Terraria, Minecraft, or Slime Rancher. So if that's definitely your speed and something that you enjoy, and Vampire Waifus also are your forte, definitely do give IMA a follow, and you definitely won't be sorry. You can also follow my friend Callie Dory here, who also known as Eru4 or Metabots OOC on Twitter, who manages the OOC page for daily Metabots content on your feed, who also has been doing her own streaming as well, now that she finally has her own model. I did also poke my head into a couple streams ever since her release with it, and it honestly does look amazing, and I can tell that she's been having a lot of fun with that model ever since she finally got her hands on it. So job well done, Callie. Keep up the good work. If you are watching this, and if to anyone else that's watching this, definitely give both of these folks a follow. You will not be sorry to add more of this content to your feed to enjoy in your everyday life. But aside from all this, I believe that covers everything just like I said, so thanks again for stopping by, folks. It's always happy to have you in for a visit. Until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.